How do you honor ignorance? You know, we make mistakes in life. If you're bound to the mistake, you don't grow, you just digest. Alright, so let me think for a moment. Absolution, cycles. I awoke this morning. In a liminal haze I laid there. An image popped into my mind. I was at the center of a circle. A dark void of space. And there were 7 adherents in front of me in their robes. Mostly feminine energy. To my left, behind me, there was another figure of feminine energy. That was the secret 9. And off to my right, in the darkness, was an old energy. An old God, an old logic. They lived through the replication of life. So now the only way to that 10, that cycle, that energy, is through the manuals of instruction of the rituals. And these are the children of the lesser gods. So we've got the secret 9. It operates in all structure, all power structure. Anything with hierarchical values for relational dynamics to be used in masterful, perfect replication is part of the secret 9 type of automatic ritual of life, creation. So I was the 8 in this union here. I was unaware that I was part of it. I didn't know. If you think of it, 8 is Saturn. 8 is the number of Saturn. Saturn is us, essentially. We are the children of Saturn. Form, time and form. Your life. So what happens is the purity of your ignorance, your time in life, is preyed upon by those stuck to the memories of perfection and this past replication dynamic which they have given the rank of God, creative force, eternal, because it gave them a sense of self, a power in a sense of being distinguished from other, even if it was only for the perfections of dark replication. There's no creative life in that. So it binds you into these things where you become a battery circuit for the edifice of the human condition, essentially. So all corporations, religions, beliefs operate through this 9, this silent 9. And it is the purity of the truth is sacrificed for narration. And then people can circumambulate the creative purity that's being sacrificed, and they can be a mimicry of power, of a god, of some replication force that they read about, heard about, felt about, rather than the ignorance of the truth of creation. Which I guess doesn't sound all that appealing in this world, especially after the conditions of our experiences. But to me, I would rather be a fool in nature than one of my own fucking denials of this growing self, so I can stand on a conviction of a lesser truth. So I'm at the middle of this coven. It's like a witch coven or something. There's like 4 girls, 3 guys, but the guys were like girls. And I'm sitting there and they're like chanting stuff. I don't know what's going on. But I noticed there's an umbilical cord connected to me and it's going into the ground. It's just dark. I can't see. And as I'm sitting there, it's just like, all right, I'm done with this. I rip the umbilical cord out of myself and I coil it up and I pull it out of the earth. And then I brought it over to this old 10, this cycle of change, this old God begging to die or be reborn. So I brought this thing, the harvest of the ignorance of the silent 9, and I left. And then the 9 became the 8. And because the 8 was the 7, it devoured itself. And so this is how the world works, and this is how it's working now. At figuratively metaphysical, imaginative levels beyond most Normieville conception. So that, I guess that means something. If not, it's an interesting story. So let's tie it into something here. We've got Mars retrograde in Leo, heading back into Cancer. So the sins of the mother, the father, the pageantry, the perception, the image of purity, of regal authority, of the king and the queen, and the majesty of what that is. The truth of your own denials is going to be fed to you, and you will either sink into the river or you will step out and burn in the desert of the self. So consensus will call you back into the drowning pool of data, of mind, or you'll be forced into the isolation of the self, burning in your own denial so that you can find what real righteous spirit is. So don't be the silent 9, be the circuit. Don't be one thing, be all things. Allow the 10,000 things to do its shit, and then you do your stuff. If it turns into shit, you change it. Or something like that, I don't know.